your life, what would it be?
Basketball.
For me, it will be a tunnel. Imagine that you are walking into a tunnel, and there are no lights, and you are surrounded by darkness. And sometimes there are only two directions for you. You can either go forth or you can only go back. There is no other choice. And sometimes when you are in the tunnel, you don't know when you will finally come to the end. So when I was in high school, I never really liked to study. Yes. When there are always other things for me to do, such as writing, play the piano, watching TV, and sleeping. Yeah, and anything but study. Yeah. My mother used to tell me that having hobbies are great, but if you do the right thing at the wrong time, then the thing is wrong. And so, since my grades in high school were not so bad, so I wasn't really aware of it. And yet, in time, my retribution came. Yes. 3 years passed very soon, and then came the college entrance exam. And because I was too confident about myself, so I didn't really work very hard on my study. Yes. And so needless to say, my exam results were quite poor. I felt very, very desperate. And for several weeks, I lived like a living dead. Yes. And refused to talk to anyone, including my parents. And they didn't really know what to do to me. Yes. And until one day, my teacher came to me, and she forced me to tell her about what I was going to do next. To be honest, I didn't really know what I should do, because I was so frustrated and my head was a mess. So I didn't say anything. And that afternoon, my teacher, she analyzed all kinds of situations, and she told me the pros and cons about the decisions I am about to make. Yes. And so that was when I made the hardest decision in my life. The one is, should I just take my score and just apply for any college that will accept me, or should I go to the cram school and spend another year to get into a better college? Yes. And once I made my decision, I called my teacher, and all she said to me was wishing me good luck. And even though the words are simple, I felt strong support in those words, and that really gave me strength. And later that day, I told my parents about my decision, and they approved. And so, spending a year in the grad school is the tunnel I face. In my grad school, we didn't really do these things, but we have really strict rules. Like we had to get in the classroom at 7:30 in the morning, and we will leave until 11 p.m. Yes, it is quite a long time. And so when I first got in, I thought that I was like, am I a prisoner? Am I in jail? And then I thought to myself, no, even prisoners have their free time. And every day we need to sit in small chairs like you can see. The space is very small, so we don't even have the space to stretch our arms when we are tired. And every day, all we did was study, study, and study. And there are some other strict rules, like the teacher said to us that you should not make any friends in this French school. Yes, and the reason is that the teacher said for every friend you make will result in 5 points less in your entrance exam. Yes, and I thought that it's kind of made sense, because if you spend your time on making friends, you will have less time to study. But that's quite impossible. Try to imagine if you sit in the same seat and for so many hours for 1 year, and after you came out, you don't even know what's the name of the person sitting next to you. Yeah, it's quite an impossible thing. So actually, eventually we did make friends, and by making friends, we can share the problems we encounter when we are studying, and then we can give each other supports. Yes, and like now when we graduated from the cram school, we still keep in touch together because of those good old times. Yes, and of course there are many people who couldn't obey to those strict rules. Like some people got into a relationship, or somebody was being late for too many times, and they were kicked out of the cram school. Yes, so it was getting in this cram school is really challenging days. Yes, and so after years of hard work, I my the result of my exams in the second year was quite well, and meaning I did really work hard for it. Yes, and so from the year that I spent in the cram school, I learned that it was like a tunnel, and our lives. I think that our lives can be divided into different parts, and they are connected by tunnels. Yes. At first, you walk into it, and you might be surrounded by darkness, and you might feel that there's no hope. But when you keep on going in, and eventually, if you manage to get over it, you will find a light. Yes, and the things I remembered the most in the cram school are that there are sometimes I have doubts about why I got in there, because sometimes my classmates from high school will come and visit us, and when I see them, I often think that why am I staying in this cram school studying all day while they are already enjoying their college life? But I often remind myself that I should not forget my original intentions. That is to achieve a better goal. Yes, and so this is a poem I wrote. Yes, it's about a tunnel, and it quite describes my feelings about it. Yes, but it's unable to see this. So that the 1 year I spent, I really learned a lot. I learned to become more mature, and my attitudes towards doing things. Yes, and that is my story.
just go talk.
Do you often write a poem?
I really love to write, but I don't write poems a lot. Mostly I wrote proses or essays. Yes, and when I was in high school, I once posted my essay and my poem in the literature prize in my school. Yes, and got second place.
So, will you write an English version?
I can try, but it is quite. The feelings are quite different because because my native language is Chinese, so so I can use Chinese to express my feelings better. But it is a interesting challenge if I try to write something in English. Yes, and if you really want to see what I wrote, you can go to my Facebook, and there's a blog, and I posted some of my essays up there. Yes.
Could you share maybe 2 or 3 essays or stories that you wrote that you feel really proud of, and then upload on Facebook?
Okay, but they are Chinese.
Okay, no, I don't mind. Go ahead, upload those 2 or 3. And not all of them, but 2 or 3.
Okay.
Thank you, Randy, for doing that, so we can really see it. And definitely you can try the English one. I know it's kind of different, but you can give it a try. So cool. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Is it hard for you to decide to take up 1 more year to prepare for the exam?
Yes, actually, I really couldn't accept the fact because I really enjoyed freedom, and like I said, staying like there is like jail, and because I never really I think the hardest part of accepting the fact that I have to go into this French school is that if I go in there, I will see my classmates. They're already enjoying their lives, and I will think that why didn't I study more when I was in high school, and so that's the hardest part.
So do you make a list to listen good points and bad points to decide whether to go to a prep school or just I'll go to it?
I just decided to go to it because I really thought that I shouldn't be just going to any university. I think that I'm better than that. Yes, so that's why I decided to take the test again.
Well, I really like the sentence you just said. I'm better than that, and you have that confidence. I love that. Anyone else?
Is there anything you think the one who take 1 more year to study will need? Like you want your friend to visit you or something else?
Actually, at first, I really didn't want any of my friends to know that I was taking the test again because I felt quite ashamed. Because having to take the test again means that I failed before. Yes, and so at first when like I said, my high school classmates they came to visit me, and at first I was trying to hide. Yes, because there are so many people, so I just hide in the crowd, so they won't find me. But eventually, I changed my mind because I thought that this might not be a failure. It is another opportunity for me to learn, to put efforts in the right things at the right time. Did that answer your question?
I want to ask, what can we do to help the ones?
Oh,
You're saying that if you have a friends who are taking the test, who are retaking the test, then how can we interact with them?
I don't. I think you can give us your support in your heart, but you don't need. I think there is not necessarily the things that you can do to help the people that are taking the test, because studying is quite a personal thing. You have to do it yourself. Nobody can help you to study. Yes, so you can just send them some like a text or some emails to give them the support. Yes.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, I have two questions and they are not very related. So first is, what kind of lifestyle do you have right now? Do you try to strike a balance between studying your interests, or do you study all the time, or do you free yourself right now? And secondly, what suggestion would you give to those high school students?
The first I want to answer the suggestion I wanted to give to the high school is that it is good to have something you really like to do, but you need to keep a balance between your hobbies and your interests, your hobbies and your homework, because there is a saying, the person is truly free, not by what he can do, what he wants to do, but what he ought to do.
Could you
Yes.
say it again?
I can't really remember it very well, but I think it's like the true freedom is not to do what you want to do, but what you ought to do. Yes, meaning you have the freedom to do what you are supposed to do, but not just what you want to do. Yes, it's kind of a tricky one. Yeah. And so there is some reality we have to face. We can't always do the things we really want to do, but we have to do what we are supposed to do. Yes. And my lifestyle. I think that now I put more time on what I should do, but not just the things like writing or watching TV or sleeping all the time, and not doing the important things. Yes.
Any other question?
What did you feel when you know that you can leave the grad school?
It was like
Could you say it again? What did you say?
What did you feel when you know that you can leave the grad school?
it feels like reborn. Yeah. Like I'm going to become another person, different from the one I got into the grad school. Yes. And that's it. think that having this experience, I can eventually find a solution. Yes.
Okay, any other question? Right, well, this is a really good Q&A session. And I do think a lot of you asked great questions and something you're curious about Vincent, you want to know more. And I also think Vincent shared a really good story to let us know more about you, because in class you're, I don't know if you're shy or you tend to be quiet and not share with us how you truly feel, maybe in a smaller group. However, in class, normally you don't express yourself that much. So through this story, I think at least for me, I learned something very important about you, and I really appreciate that you have this session for us. Okay, and the Q&A session is great, and you really try your best to answer all the questions. It's really great. Okay, feedback. Some positive feedback. Go ahead, Xin.
I think it's really great to give a topic like the tunnel, and into the whole presentation you mentioned it maybe 3 times. I think it's really great.
Yeah, that's why it's a writer. Yeah, that's a really good metaphor. Okay, very good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like your visual too, especially for the tunnel. And you use some I think it's very good phrase like surrounded by darkness and no hope, let's keep going. I think that's very enlightening.
Wonderful feedback, Joseph. Good. Okay, next one.
I remember in the style there is a sentence about Henry Adams, right? And you don't talk about the sentence. I think you have some story about the sentence. Can you talk about it?
Do you know where the sentence was quoted from? Yes, that was quoted to the, and that's the last class I said that. Yes, that's my English teacher, and I really and we are really close friends, and she, like I said, she taught us not only academic knowledge but also some wisdoms of our lives, and she really inspired me a lot. Like she encouraged me to take the test again. Yes, that was influenced by her. Yes, and in the past year, she has given me lots of support, and that is one of the reasons why I successfully graduated from the university.
The frustration you met is quite familiar to some of us and the people and some people around us, and I think that it can really touch our heart. And in the first class you said that you want to improve your speaking, and I think you are doing it very well.
Wow, Irene, that's impressive. You remember what Vincent said on the first day. Very good. Thank you for giving this feedback, and then great observation. Wonderful. Okay, Oscar?
I really love you start with a question in your presentation, because you can let the audience focus on what your topic and let us to think about our idea. But I think you can not just you can still wait someone else to answer the question, not just the basketball. You can get more you can have a more interactive with the audience. Yes.
So you're saying if you can just wait
for about
for a couple of seconds.
Yes.
Maybe someone else also want to answer that question.
Yes. Also, you can just point someone else to answer it. But I really love this type of opening. You can let us focus on.
Yeah, I also love the opening. I think you asked a really good question, and for us to reflect and think about. Okay, and I think Oscar's feedback is that he want to answer that question.
So
Oh.
Represent your life now?
Maybe just like journey, travel. Yeah.
Travel.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
I can feel your confidence, and you are so comfortable on the stage. I really like that. And you wear your smile all the time. And I think it's a common story for high school students before. So we are truly related to your story and enjoy it.
You mean also living a prisoner's life?
Yeah, but not like Vincent. That's
In prison.
and I like you show the pictures in the school. We can imagine it.
Yeah, it's a really good visual aid for us to really see that. I certainly agree with you. Vincent, you look very confident when you told the story, when you gave this presentation. It was really, really good. You look very confident and very calm, very relaxed. It may not be true inside you. I know you were nervous when you sat there. However, when you start sharing your story, you look very confident to me. Make sure you check the video. You are great. Very confident speaker. And you kind of take it easy and then speak about your life. It was really great. Okay, anyone else? Go ahead.
I think Vincent said very clearly and fluently his presentation, and he let us know the true evil side of the current school. Because we always see the current school advertising for how many people apply for NTU and all the thankful words for the current school, but we didn't know what is true behind this before.
So now you get to see the insider story.
Yeah, and in fact, I really hate current school, so I don't even go to current school since I was in junior one. Yeah.
Oh, okay, first year.
Yeah, and after hearing his story, I think I won't let my children.
Okay. You already think about your kids.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes.
I think your experience in current school is very good for you. And in the future, whatever challenge you face, I think you can overcome it. Because you say that you grown. In school. That's very tough.
Yeah. It's a tough experience. However, I do think all the experience in our life will be a lesson for us. It's not really, I don't think it's a wasting time in our life. Whatever experience will teach us something. Yeah. So even it's really tough experience. Okay. Anyone else? Yes.
It's not pertaining to your presentation, but I think you are a person with perseverance and determination. And now you know what you want, and you're doing everything to get it. And I think it's great, and you're definitely doing it.
Very good. Okay. All right. For Vincent, I think I'll give you some feedback in terms of your presentation. I think I agree with Oscar. You got really good opening. I love the question. When I asked you at the beginning, you were like, I don't know what to do, but look at what you did. It was great. Okay. With the question and the photo, I think that was a really great start. Okay, and you really get us to think about that. It's really good. And the visual is great with all these photos and quotes. Okay, I do think you prepared for this presentation. You thought about how to present it, with what kind of photos that will help to that will speak for you. So I think you did think about it, how to show us, and I do think you practice, because you three are great. All the speakers today are wonderful. I do think you rehearse a lot, so you can tell this wonderful story within the time. To me, it's not easy. It's definitely, I need to practice to control the time. So I think you did so well. And I also love your sense of humor. And it's something that kind of at least surprised me. And it was really great. I love your sense of humor when you give a presentation. Like, even prisoner get free time. Very good, very good. And I also love your smile when you give presentation. That makes you look very confident, and at the same time, we feel really close to you. It was great. And the Q&A session is great too. You definitely try to answer all the questions really well, okay, very sincerely. Wonderful time control. Okay, all right. All right, something that he can work on, maybe change a bit, that will make his presentation even better. Any suggestions?
Oh,
Go ahead.
I think I have one suggestion. It's also a problem for me that sometimes when we have a presentation and we are so nervous and we will put the hands in the pocket or just we don't know what our hands are doing. So I think we should just have some gesture or just put in the bag or put in the somewhere and just not move or put in the pocket.
Yeah, very good. And that's why you are the photographer. Use your video taping and see all that. Yeah, right. That's something I want to point out too. It's just tiny thing to work on, but you do look very confident to me. Okay, but it's just tiny thing. You tend to have your hands in the pocket and then, or kind of move around like this. It's something to maybe work on a bit more. That will make you a really great speaker. So you can look at the video. I think you will learn from this. Okay, it's tiny thing to focus on. Okay. Anything else? Very good also. It's definitely a really good speech. Okay. One more thing is the visual aid, the poem. Okay, I appreciate that Randy helped out to make it clear to us. And that's something we can do. When we show the visual aid, it's always good to have that on the PowerPoint and then on the projector and see if that's clear to audience. We can think from audience perspective to look at our PowerPoint, see if it's clear to them. Sometimes when we create a PowerPoint on the computer, we can see it. But when we project it, actually it's not clear to the audience. For example, the color. We can always think about the color. If it's a dark color as a background, then you need to have a bright color for the words. Okay, and that will be clear to the audience. So it's something some tiny thing that we can work on. Okay, but Randy certainly helped out. It was really great. Okay, I think that is all. It's wonderful speech. I love all these 3 stories. You guys are great. And I also think those speakers did a wonderful job today because Randy and Joy did a really good job as a first sample. I think that's why. Okay. Too bad we don't have more story sessions. Oh my God. I just love those sessions. You did so wonderful. Let's give all these 3 speakers a big clap. Thank you so much. All right.